yesterday, and we're going to talk about that as well. Um, you know, this whole get high movement is all over the world seems to be nothing new, but just in terms of Mr. Aaron Hernandez, who passed, they are saying that he possibly was smoking K2 before he took his life. So we're going to talk about drugs and how they are and are not harmless. We already know that. But anyway, let me introduce my co-hosts. I have Mr. Marc Medley, host of The Reading Circle. You can catch him on
WP 88.7 FM and GoBrave.org.
Say that one more time.
On WP 88.7 FM in northern New Jersey, and then we stream live on GoBrave.org, and that's every Saturday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Okay. And I also have Miss Kat returning. She was here with us the last time we were here. Actually, we are on a break from Good Friday. We weren't here last week. I returned to church. I hadn't been to church in a minute, and I listen, let me tell you something. God will send you there. When you are running, He will find a way to make you get up in that place. But let's start from scratch. Okay, so this week, Mr. Bill O'Reilly himself, the nice gentleman. He got a rude awakening.
Yeah, he did. Actually, I mean, it kind of surprised all of us. But, I mean, you know what it is? Nobody is too big. No, I don't care who you are, whether you're the Sean Hannitys, the Rush Limbaughs, the Bill O'Reillys, the Marc Medleys, the Ericka Williams, the whoever. None of us are too big.
That's what we have to remember. That's very important in life. For you to understand that no matter, they say what comes up must come down, for one. And, you know, what goes around comes around, for two. And we're going to get in here. We're going to we're live on Mr. Marc Medley's page right now. But, again, that is what we should take from that. But, of course, the arguments are that it doesn't really matter because he's going to find another home and he's going to still be successful. Well,
yeah, I tell you what, I think he will, only because of history. If you look at, what's his name over there? There's two of them. Their name come to me. There's Imus. Imus found his own. He came back, as well as the other one, Howard Stern. That's what I'm Howard Stern and Imus. Both of them were just as bad as Bill O'Reilly. And they both came back. They both did their own things. And I think with technology now, even if a network doesn't pick you up, you can start your own thing.
Right. I mean, the big deal is the advertisers and the money, because we all doing our own thing. Right. Are we getting the money that they're getting? Not yet. I'm still keeping hope alive.
I know that's right. Same here.
You know, I mean, we don't do it for the money. It's the passion, but the money sure would be nice.
I know that's right. I tell folks, ask me, if you had a choice, would you leave your current job if you could make the same money doing radio in a nano? And I love what I do.
Right.
But if I could make the same money doing this, yeah, I would leave it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, a part of life is change, and a part of life is, you know, transitioning. And I felt like I had did my service as a teacher in front of children at the chalkboard, and then when that ran out, it doesn't mean that I'm still not in a position where I want to serve the youth. You know what I mean? You can serve in different ways.
Oh, absolutely.
And different outlets and platforms. So it's not like you'll be walking away. You're from Patterson. You know, I feel like Patterson is my second home. Right. I'm always in there. You know, I'm always doing something now. I'm working with a pastor at Exodus Baptist Church on 12th Avenue. For those of you who are looking for a place for your children, nursery age.
Pastor Jackson.
Pastor Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So I have been, you know, that, and that's what I mean. When God wants you somewhere, I had no intention on replacing the director there. I've just been doing it for about a month now. But, you know, I'm still able to run my show. So things work out, you know, but I find myself there, and I find myself there for a reason. So,
Absolutely.
you know, people like to say that sellout thing, you know, there's a thin line between selling out and really elevating. You know what I mean?
It's you know, people can have passions. Like for me, communications, whether it's writing, whether it's speaking, whether it's radio, is a passion. Children are my passion as well, serving them in terms of education.
Right.
So there's no, you can, it's not a matter of you can't have more than one passion. And it's interesting you wound up in that position with Pastor Jackson, because he and I were on a radio show together about maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Really?
And, yes. And he asked me to look for somebody or let him know if I knew of anybody that could serve in that position. And lo and behold, you wound up with it.
Really?
That's so. When you said that, like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. About 3 months ago, we were on a radio show together, and at the end, whenever we were out to dinner together, he said, "I have this position open. You're in education.
Right.
If you know of anybody, let me know."
Yeah. So you know, it's work. You know, it's different. I'm used to the older kids now. I have the babies. You know, and I'm not actually teaching. I'm the director, so I'm just running everything.
Right.
But again, you know.
So you like the principal?
Yeah. So I'm still the boss lady. Wherever I go, I'm the boss. Don't get it twisted. I'm the boss at home. You know, and that's another rough thing. I mean, let's talk about Bill O'Reilly, and then, you know, a lot of women today are finding themselves in a position where the head of the household is not there for different reasons. T.I. and Tiny, you know, Rashida and Kirk. You know, we can't stay away from this story. You know, it's like I put a post up early on my page this week about the whole monogamy and cheating thing. And it's a subject that we can't leave alone, but you have a different consideration that some women and men probably need to think about. We need to think about, how about being celibate for a little while? Is that a possibility? You know,
it's not for me, but I mean,
no, not for you, not for you. But I mean, for those of us who,
I'm with you. I
mean,
celibacy, abstinence, it has its place.
Right. Yeah. I mean, when you know, we all get, our emotions are all tied up into something. And I can say, when I was a little younger, not that I'm old, but when I was a little younger, I was able to move faster in terms of, okay, this is not done, I wipe my hands with that, I can move to that. But, you know, when there's children involved, when when you really know what you want, you just don't want to waste your time anymore. You know what I mean? That's what it really comes down to, and it's not easy to just say, okay, that's done. You know, we have to, especially if you're married. So we're going to get to that. We got a lot to talk about today. In terms of Bill O'Reilly, I had put up Maxine Waters' response to him talking about her James Brown wig when she was on the floor talking about serious issues. I mean, this is what I have a problem with. Bill O'Reilly didn't become this way overnight. This is him. Right?
That's
so
right.
He's had this attitude, this behavior, this image for a long time. Why is it okay? Like, why is he at the top, one of the top paid people? That's scary to think that that's where we are. I mean, look at our president. So, I mean, what can we do? But
well, you know what? We're in a society that likes the rebellious, that gravitates towards the opposite. So the very thing that you would think would be one way, actually, society tends to go the other way for some reason. And I don't know, maybe they confuse that as part of his stage persona versus his real person. Maybe he's just doing that for entertainment purposes, but I don't think so. I mean, I think a lot of time with these people like this, like the Howard Sterns and the Imuses and the O'Reillys and all these other folks, I think people see in them, and even Trump for that matter, even the president, these people are able to say and do what most of us wish we could say and do, and they get away with it.
I mean, yeah, speaking of that, like, isn't he inducted on, like, or dismissed from Fox because of sexual harassment charges?
Yes.
Okay, Cosby, for example, he can't even come back to television if he wanted to. And that's why I asked, do you think that Bill O'Reilly's career is not over?
No, it's not over.
It's not over. Because the reason why I'm saying that is because he's been getting this wasn't a first time thing. This is not, new. And he's been getting the support and the dollars behind him. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what was the straw that broke the camel's back.
You had a number of women that finally got together with a lawyer, as well as the Maxine Waters thing. I think all the attention. And then I agree with you earlier. Me personally, I think the bottom line was they started losing money on him. Because up until this point, the advertisers were still there.
Right.
But I think because the dollar rules. I don't care what nobody says. The dollar rules. So I believe because now they began losing money, that's whenever Fox got serious. Exactly. Right. Because now you're costing us.
Right. Right.
That's my personal opinion. I don't know. Because you're right. He's been like this for years. He's been like this for years.
Yes. So we're just going to hope. What could come from? Who could fill his spot?
Oh, I'd love to take it.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I wouldn't be like him, but I'd love to. Again, if I could make the kind of money doing this talk, interviewing people on TV, on radio, I would take it. I really would.
Me too. I'd love to do it. But, let's look at another famous up-and-coming ratchet. See, we don't call ratchet when they're white for some reason. What do we call it? Ratchet. Yeah. Danielle Bergoli. She's 14. She's the Cash Me Outside girl. And she now has a reality show coming up. And she is the poster girl for rudeness.
Anytime you're involved.
Look at that. Rudeness. Rudeness seems to be the order of the day.
Rudeness.
Now, to me, that's out of order, but rudeness, the president is rude.
Right.
And my thing is this, and you'll find this out as you're leading even your preschool. So as the head goes the rest of the body. Right. So the personality of the leader becomes the rest of the body. So now we have a leader that rudeness is order of the day.
Right.
All the way down the line. Sean Spicer, Trump, that whole regime, kind of rudeness is. So the same thing with, because if you remember, Trump said Bill O'Reilly did nothing wrong.
He did.
Yeah. Oh, in the beginning, he said, I don't see why this is all happening because Bill O'Reilly did nothing wrong. He's a very great man, so forth and so on.
Right.
All right. They're cut from the same cloth.
Right.
All right. Because I was telling my wife yesterday, or day before yesterday, and I could be wrong, but when that statement, and I understand locker room talk, but when that statement came out about I just grab them by the crotch, every woman in the country, even if they were considering voting for him, should have said, you know what, I was thinking about voting for him.
Still voted
but, no, they came out in mass. But see, again, this is back to that rudeness, the opposite, that whole thing going on. So back to what you were just saying about the 14-year-old rudeness.
Right.
That seems to be our order of the day.
Anytime you say reality TV, no matter the color, it's going to be ratchet. Reality TV equals ratchetness. Because they're going to want the viewers to have that entertainment.
But what it is that we can sit at home and say, oh, that's ratchet, we don't like it, and we're still watching it. And we're also being influenced by it without knowing. Like, it's starting to really determine what's okay and what's not okay. You're not just a spectator if you keep being involved, and so you're feeding yourself the same thing. You're no longer just a spectator.
Well, you know what? It's just like that old saying about the food. You are what you eat. And the same thing happens to me. I honestly believe we take into our spirits what we watch and listen to.
Right.
So the music that we listen to, the things that we watch, the things that we view online, we take that into our spirits. So you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Again, that's feeding into the rudeness.
Well, what could they do now in terms of replacing him with someone who is going to try to make a difference? Is it boring if we try to make a good, positive change?
That's a good point.
I think it's how you're trying to make the positive change. Not actually making the change. It's how you go about doing it. Because you don't want to do it to the point where it's boring and no one's going to pay attention.
Right. You still have to be exciting, entertaining, enticing, intriguing. But... hey, that's not a bad idea. Then look, if women voted for Trump after that, what is that saying about our women? We all like to be grabbed by the crotch? Ultimately.
Not
that way.
I'm saying we got a lot of closet freaks. But, we're going to put Bill O'Reilly to rest. Hopefully there is there's always a change. You know, things go back and forth. You know what I mean? I seem to think that Obama brought class and style, you know, to us, gave us hope. Our little boys who can now possibly think that they could possibly be president. That's a big deal. There are young people who now can say, I want to be president, and they've seen it happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a seed as well.
Right.
These are all seeds. So I think we have to continue to plant the positive seeds, fight the negative seeds that are growing and blooming and flourishing, and wait for our day and our time, because everything is a revolution. Right. Does that sound boring?
Well,
anyway.
You know, it's an interesting point you all brought up. Because if you think about it, that's what news operates on anyway. News operates on the negative.
On the propaganda.
I know friends who are news anchors, and I ask them, I don't know, because within 30 seconds, there's been so much negativity within a 30-second sound clip. And you're talking about doing that for an hour on every day for 20 and 30 and 40 years. So I wonder, how does that not seep into your spirit?
Yeah,
Constantly reporting on killing and accidents and murder.
Yeah, I spoke to someone that said the news makes them feel depressed. That's why they never watch the news.
I mean, what's so crazy, too, if you look at even the detectives and the police officers who are on the spot, when they see these things, they're numb to it because they can't, every time they see a dead body or have to go tell somebody about their family member being killed, they have to shut that emotional part off. And, you know, that's scary because then a lot of police, not a lot, but we have cases of police officers who have turned around and killed their wives, killed themselves, because we think that we're immune. We think that we're shutting it off, and it's building up somewhere else. And that leads us to the Aaron Hernandez story with his family donating his brain for research, because the officers in prison was saying how he seems so emotionally detached. Right. He was very controlling, and that's what a sociopath is. Okay? But at the end, he killed himself. Now, one of the theories is that he was smoking K2. Well, some of the inmates have said that he was smoking K2 before he killed himself. But in terms of the brain, his family donating his brain for the study of CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
It's a mental disorder.
But that's coming from the constant hitting of the head, like playing sports, the football.
Right,
so that's
and that's what the movie.
Exactly, that's what it's about.
Right.
That's where that whole thing comes from.
But I also, I did a story on Aaron Hernandez when he first was going through trial when I was still teaching with the Odin Lloyd trial, right? And his father dying at the age of 16, his father was also, though, a reputed thug in Boston, you know, who bullied everybody and happened to die not in the streets, but by he was having a surgery on a hernia or something.
Right, that's it.
And it's like, that's the least way that you would have think would happen to him. And then Aaron has never recovered. That's what a lot of his family members are saying, that he was just, that loss made him go out there, act out, you know, hang with the wrong crowd. But his father was doing the same thing. So, you know, not that, I think the death probably impacted him, but he was already on that path, right? So now we add this behavior. It's not necessarily that we know of him being injured, but also when we're feeding the brain dopamines, right?
Right.
If the certain thing that we keep doing is making us feel good, like the adrenaline, when you hit somebody, when you bully somebody, if we keep feeding that part of our brain, that is, I think it controls our behavior. You know what I mean?
I have very mixed emotions on this case.
Okay.
And the only reason is because, one, you're absolutely right in terms of, this is another case of the upbringing. And I actually serve kids who hang with their fathers who deal drugs on the corner. You could see them at 10, 11, 12 o'clock, and we're talking third and fourth graders that are out with their dads, yes. And they're out hustling whatever it is. So they emulate what they see from their dad. And it sounds like you had this going on with Aaron.
Right.
The only issue I have with it is, again, back to what we were just talking about. You can trust me. If I get to the point where I'm making $40 million to play a kid's game, I'm going to get right whatever needs to get right. You ain't got to worry about me killing nobody. You ain't got to worry about me robbing from nobody. You ain't got to worry about me doing nothing wrong. If I got to that point where I signed a $40 million contract to play a kid's game, and that still wasn't enough. So that tells me that whoever you are as a person, with or without money, money is not the issue.
Money is going to add to the problem, because now he's also untouchable. Now he thinks that he can't go to jail. He won't be caught. We continue to lie to ourselves, and this money only made him feel like, I can do anything I want to do. Just like Danielle Bregoli. Now she's worth $200,000, and she gets $40,000 to $50,000 for appearances, and for her to say, "How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?" She gets this money, and now she's just been arrested for marijuana possession, and she's getting a reality show. So what are we teaching her? That she needs to turn herself around? No, we're not teaching her that. The money that she's going to get is only going to make her behavior worse. She's not going to say, oh, let me be a nice little girl now because that's what pays. No, we're making her think that this behavior is to be rewarded for.
But see, again, going back to society, unfortunately, and again, maybe I'm only speaking from my experiences in the urban school.
Right.
But I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think it's an issue regardless if it's urban or suburban.
Yes, it's a social issue.
Right, I'll tell you what I see. Kid gets in trouble. Kid gets suspended. Parent take him downtown and buy a new pair of Jordans.
Exactly.
So you've just rewarded bad behavior.
Right.
We're doing the same thing on a societal level. Someone does something, like I said, that's why I know O'Reilly going to get another job. Guaranteed. Right. We reward the very thing that we don't want.
Right.
And then when we keep getting it, then we keep questioning, why do we keep getting that? Because you keep rewarding the bad behavior. So now this young lady just got a reality show for doing bad behavior.
Right. Absolutely. You don't see all of these scholars, these children that are graduating from college at 14.
Right.
They're not getting reality shows.
Right.
Nobody knows their name. I'm thinking of one who I saw a post about, and it was saying, we know Young Thug, we don't know him.
Right.
We don't. There's something wrong because in all actuality, we're all guilty to some extent. We're all guilty of it.
No, you're absolutely right. If you ask me that child, because you're right, I saw that post as well. 14-year-old. So if you ask me that child's name right now, I couldn't tell you. Now that's sad because, and again, that speaks to what we were just talking about. We remember the negative, but we do not remember the positive.
So now, if they were to give him a reality show, right? What would be enticing? What could be enticing about it that would be intriguing? Is it, I don't know how we would make that inviting. The success is see, we can't say, okay, he's going to make 300,000, because listen, the pharmaceutical industry, people are making a lot of money. So it's not that, you can't be successful if you're not ratchet. You can.
Oh, no.
You can still be successful.
The corruption is ridiculous. The very industries, and I think we talked about this the last time, the very industries that you think that are in place to save lives could care less about lives. Pharmaceutical industry, insurance industry, food industry, those are industries that you think, you would think those industries are about preserving life. They don't give a rat's behind about life. It's all about the dollar. Trust me, this whole thing that's going on with war, notice when we get into wars, who's in office when we get into wars? It's people that have interest in oil. If you notice, whenever we start talking war, it's folks that have an interest in oil. All right? We got folks that's sitting in that cabinet that have an interest in oil. We're talking war again. When the Bushes were in office, we were at war. Oil. Obama ain't got nothing in oil. we weren't talking war.
Yeah, he's trying to get us out of there.
That's right. So the money thing is all the way up and down the line. You were asking me about books. We were talking about that book. There's a book called.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get into that. We're going to keep
because it's on the same line.
It's the Boss Lady Chronicles radio show. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we're all muted. I have to call my house. My son is going through an issue. So now you have books that did you bring any books?